Have you ever come across someone whose aura is so powerful that you can just feel the warmth and the positive energy by just being around them? And you feel it long after you have left their presence. I recently came across a woman, a complete stranger, and I was in her presence for only a few seconds, but it just left me in awe of her inner glow, and those few seconds inspired this video. So as an aesthetic girly, I am one of those girls who loves watching videos on how to be that girl, how to be the one who is not only beautiful but also magnetic, who radiates glow and who smells like roses, has amazing skin and hair. The health tips, makeup techniques, and mindset shifts do serve their value, and I'm all for it. But I think there's something else that's less talked about, something that is the foundation of everything, of beauty, and that is the quality of our soul. So the other day I was out with my mom and we decided to pray Maghrib at a mosque. After praying, while we were leaving, we were walking towards the door. We saw this young lady, maybe in her late 20s or early 30s. She was holding the door open for us. She was leaving as well. So when I saw her, she wasn't just holding the door open, she was smiling at us. And it was the kind of smile you give to someone you love, it was just filled with love and kindness and warmth. Because usually when you smile at a stranger, it's kind of a reserved or formal smile, but with her it was like, you could just feel her positive energy. And we thanked her and we left. After a while, my mom said exactly what I was thinking, that there are some people that you can just feel their positive energy even though you haven't spoken, like you were just with her for a few seconds. And I was like, exactly, like what was it about her? She was beautiful, by the way. Her beauty was so mesmerizing. And it just got me wondering that there are so many beautiful girls everywhere around the world. What was it about her that felt so divine? And after much contemplation, as always, like after thinking about it for a while, I realized that your inner glow, your aura, it's not just connected to your mind and body. It's not just about the healthcare tips and the makeup and all of this aesthetics. It is deeply connected to the state of your heart or your soul. Nafs, they all mean the same thing. And maybe one can say that it was because of her smile or her act of kindness that made her more attractive and more beautiful, which is true. But I also think there are people whose character, like I firmly believe that your character reflects on your face. Some people who have that kind face and that noor, it is because of their deeds. It's because of how they conduct themselves, what are their values, what kind of intentions do they have. If your nafs is not at peace, if it's filled with anxiety and stress, that will reflect on your face. It will reflect in your aura, in your energy. So your physical appearance and energy is very much linked to the state of your soul. So in this video, I want to address this topic from the soul perspective alone, because I think there are enough videos about the mindset shifts and the detox juices and all of those very important and valuable tips. But at the same time, what about detoxing your soul? Because your soul needs to be consistently cleansed, just the same way you clean your body. So I think the first step is to cleanse your soul. So I think we talk a lot about being conscious of what we consume, the things we eat, things we watch, we listen to, the people we surround ourselves with. But eliminating is just as important as consuming. Because let's face it, we do end up giving our time and energy to things or people who are not good for us. It's not that we do it consciously, but it can even be unintentionally. Sometimes you come across something online, maybe a video or an image on social media, or maybe it's a song with just horrible lyrics, or maybe you fall into friendships or relationships which are not good for you. And at first, it doesn't seem like a big deal because we think, oh, it's not like their lifestyle is my lifestyle, we're different. I have my own values. It's not like I'm following them, or it's just a song or a show. It's not like I'm actually participating in the act of what they're doing, let's say hookup culture. But the things you'll watch, the things you listen to, the things you constantly feed, it does get absorbed in your subconscious. And even though we try so much to escape from these things, I think in this day and age, it's almost impossible. So the key is to consciously, repeatedly cleanse yourselves. It's not just something you do once a year in Ramadan, but it's a constant journey until you die. The same goes for self-destructive emotions like anger, envy, fear, resentment. If you hold on to it for too long, it forms like a layer on your heart, and just like a mirror that fogs up if it's not cleaned. And a heart like that can never feel at peace, and without peace you can never glow. So whatever soul cleansing looks like to you, based on the religion you belong to, based on how you like to spiritually connect with the divine, it needs to be a part of your self-care routine. Returning to yourself, repenting to God, reminding yourself of your values, thinking about death and afterlife are some of the ways to detox your soul, to come back to your true essence. And again, mind, body, and soul are interconnected. Ignoring any one of them will impact your overall state. And it makes so much sense because in Islam, it's not just about praying, reading the Quran, and being grateful. There's a heavy emphasis on cleanliness and hygiene, the mindset you need to have as a believer. We have been given a blueprint on how to approach this life. The very act of cleaning our body is a form of connecting with God. We don't just do it because of self-love or because it's a means to an end. We don't want to stink and be smelly. It's a form of devotion to the divine, that we have been gifted with this body, with this soul. It's our duty to maintain it. So the next thing I want to talk about is self-alchemy, one of my favorite subjects, which is a concept I'm fascinated by. There are 3 stages of a woman. The first stage is the naive little girl who has not seen the reality of life. She has not been through a heartbreak or trauma of any sort. Maybe she has, but she's unaware of it. Her alarm systems have not developed yet. In that stage, I think it's natural to just have a glow and that positive energy, because you've just been untested from life and you are like very close to your true essence. The second stage is one where she has been through some hardships, some trauma, some heartbreak, and now that she's aware of it, the unconscious has become conscious. Unless she does the work of healing, she will be stuck in this stage of the wounded feminine. The third stage is where all the magic happens. This is the stage where the woman learns how to alchemize that pain, that trauma. It turns her from a girl into a woman. She becomes a woman of discernment. She cannot be easily manipulated because she has learned that every person, every situation is a teacher. It's an opportunity for her to grow and to become closer to God. She listens to her intuition, her inner voice, and she makes decisions based on that, not just based on logic and based on the conditioning of her life. She uses her experiences and her knowledge from based on the mistakes she has done and the experience she has been through to avoid future pain, not to go through the same lessons with different people. This art of self-alchemy is what separates a beautiful woman to a woman that's not only beautiful but also powerful, magnetizing, peaceful. She is vibrating on a very high frequency, and her neutral state of peace cannot be easily disturbed because she is protecting herself. So I'll read a passage from the book that I'm currently reading, Women Who Run with the Wolves. The cure for both the naive woman and the instinct-injured woman is the same. Practice listening to your intuition, your inner voice. Ask questions. Be curious. See what you see, hear what you hear, and then act upon what you know to be true. These intuitive powers were given to your soul at birth. So how do we learn self-alchemy? Like, how do we transform ourselves through our experiences? It comes down to emotional mastery. In simple words, emotional mastery is something I wrote in my little pink book. Understanding there will be times you'll be frustrated, angry, disappointed, overstimulated, and realizing the goal isn't to deny those emotions and to be happy and positive all the time. It is to see those moments as opportunity for growth. Something needs to change. Maybe my environment, my reaction, my habit of taking things personally, my lack of boundaries, my lack of direction in life. Something needs to change. What is it? What set of skills am I being called to learn? I wrote it myself because this is what emotion mastery means to me. Is to see through those emotions, to see emotions as feedback, not as something that needs to be resisted or changed. A big part of emotional mastery is detachment. Attached to nothing, connected to everything. What does that mean? Imagine being at peace with the fact that you will not only survive but grow through every experience, every good and bad experience, especially the bad experiences, no matter who comes in or goes out of your life, because decades of friendship, decades of marriages can end, and it can often feel like the world is over, life is over, I don't have any purpose in life, I've lost everything. But having that strong faith, because a big part of faith is detachment. When you have faith, when you have anchored yourself to a power that's above all the things that you can lose, money, love, All of those things are fleeting, but if you're connected to us, to the source, to the creator that's above all of those things, then it will be very easy to stay detached. But at the same time, you will be connected to everything in nature, to everything in universe, because you understand that life is a series of death and birth. There will be things inside you that will die, and there will be rebirth. And that is a very big part of being a woman. That's how our cycles operate. That's how everything operates in nature. There's always a phase of death and rebirth. What must I give more death to today in order to generate more life? What do I know should die, but I'm hesitant to allow to do so? What must die in me in order for me to love? What not beauty do I fear? Of what use is the power of the not beautiful to me today? What should die today? What should live? What life am I afraid to give birth to? If not now, when? Some really good questions to start from. You actually need to take our time to sit and to ask yourself these questions, because life can be pretty fast. You can, be in that autopilot mode that you don't even realize that why are you doing what you're doing, why do you have these goals. Emotional mastery also means accepting your feminine chaos, which I don't know if it's really chaos that we should call, if that's the right word, because it's just a part of who we are. You have to accept your sensitivity, and you have to let life flow through you, because you glow when you flow. If you're stuck in survival mode, then there is no flow. There are emotions stuck in you. There are events, past trauma or fear of the future, insecurity, something stuck, and because of that you are kind of paralyzed. You are not in the flow state. Your emotions, your body, your thoughts, they constantly need to flow, and you have to only allow those people in your life who let you flow, who hold that space for you to be in that flow state, who are patient with you, who are compassionate with you, who understand that you are a force of nature as a feminine woman. Now, cleansing your soul and protecting your energy, they go hand in hand. The woman that I talked about in the beginning of this video, I just pray that she doesn't let anyone take advantage of her kindness, of her love, because what she has also makes her quite vulnerable and makes her attracted towards narcissists, towards energy vampires. So you have to be very conscious of who you surround yourself with, who you give your energy to. I think the most expensive thing is our energy, our time and our energy. I came across this quote recently. I wrote it in my little pink diary. It's hard to say that you value something when you are constantly giving it to people who belittle it. If you give your time, your energy, your attention to the wrong people, they will literally suck the life out of you. They'll suck the life force energy out of you. Your glow, your aura, everything will be disturbed. Your hormones will be disturbed. Your quality of health is heavily impacted by the quality of relationships as a woman. So be extremely selective of who you surround yourself with. People should not have easy access to you, especially men. Be private. Don't post everything on social media, or don't post at all. The next thing I want to talk about is humility. Humility is something that you can be tested by. Most of us think we are humble, we have humility, we don't look down upon others, we don't think ourselves as superior. And if you're someone who is already kind of spiritual, who you try to have a connection with God, and you think, yeah, I have a decent connection because I don't have any bad intentions, I'm not out here trying to hurt anyone. But if you're someone who judges others based on, let's say, how they dress, and you judge their character based on it, if you're someone who just assumes things about others based on, let's say, their past mistakes, then what does that say about you? The downfall of the devil was arrogance. Like, he used to worship God, but it was his arrogance and his refusal to bow down towards Adam that led to his downfall. So if you're someone who has values and you're trying to stick to those values, but you come across someone whose values don't align with your own, maybe they're not as practicing in the religion, if you judge them even the slightest, you've lost all the good points, all the good deeds, wasted. So with a heart like that, with a judgmental person like that, you cannot glow. Like, you have to have that humility. You have to understand that you will make mistakes, you will fall, you're a flawed person. And you know what they say, that sinners judging other sinners for sinning differently. At the end of the day, we all are sinners. So let's focus on ourselves, on our character, and let's not assume things about others, because that's something that we can do sometimes in the most subtle ways. The last thing I want to talk about is seeking beauty. Beauty is everywhere. beautiful people, beautiful animals, nature. The beauty you see in others is a reflection of your own beauty. Have a habit of asking yourself what's beautiful in this moment. Not just when you're outside, out in the nature or in a beautiful place, but also when you're at home, like just making your tea, doing the most ordinary, mundane things. There's beauty even in that. Seeking beauty and acknowledging that beauty in others is a form of connecting with your true essence, with God. And I think addressing the not so beautiful, the ugly, is important to get closer to the beautiful. This will make more sense if you read this book, which I highly recommend to every woman. Like, ask God to not just beautify your appearance, but also your character. Like, we even have a dua for it. That's one of my favorite duas. So thank you for watching this video. I hope we take our spiritual health into account when we think about self-care. It's a reminder for all of us to work for both this life and the next. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments. I'll try to make more videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.